Hello, everyone, and welcome to this very romantic
Yes.
episode of The Wayward Dragons. I'm your love doctor, Johnny.
Oh, and I'm Kelsey.
uh, this figured we'd do this because it's when episode should be coming out. It'll be right around Valentine's Day, where you know love is in the air, quote unquote. And don't get me started on the whole commercialization thing, but uh,
Yes.
hey, so anyone who knows me knows that at heart I'm a hopeless romantic with a dirty mind.
Yes.
So this episode we're going to be talking about the love and romance part. The dirty mind part might come up on next episode. Uh,
Yes.
so
Gonna get awkward.
yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. So romance and love in many different forms should surround us in life.
Yes.
Uh, there are many different ways love can be shown and felt.
hmm
We have we've had extensive research done onto the subject in fields from psychology to philosophy to even physics.
Mhm.
But what is love and why are we talking about it? Well, like I said, it's around Valentine's Day, so figured this is the perfect time to kind of go into this.
Yes.
Personally, I feel that you shouldn't have one time of year to talk about love and all of that and show someone you care, but it does give you the opportunity to say, hey, I'm a chicken shit the rest of the time. I'm going to step up and, you know, puts a little bit of pressure on you, sometimes for the best, sometimes for the worst. Look, why are you laughing? Look, some people, it's hard to
Chicken
say.
shit.
Yeah, it's hard to say how you feel to some people, and
That is
some
true.
people are.
Some people do have a very hard time. I mean, I do too. Yeah, I am not. I'm laughing because I am that way. Um,
They're chicken shit.
Not necessarily. I'm getting better with my husband at letting him know, like, he won a trip from work, and I was like, I'm proud of you. Like, I love you, but I'm really proud of you. Like, you worked really hard all year for this. Like, that's awesome, type thing. It's just I'm trying. It's not. It's hard.
Yeah,
It's hard, but I agree with you. If you shouldn't need a holiday to tell me that you love me. If you need a holiday to tell me that you love me, we got more problems than what we think.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And some people are afraid to make that statement and afraid to take the jump to tell someone that they care about them. And,
hmm
on the counterpoint of that, having a holiday does give them the opportunity to say, hey, I love
Yeah.
you. And here's the thing, though Valentine's Day is supposed to be about love. It
hmm
doesn't necessarily need to be about romantic love. It can be, platonic love. Say you love your friends and you want to show them.
Valentine.
It could be about, you know, love for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but we're not here just to talk about love, true love, and sorry, I had to
Like,
throw a
great.
Princess Bride reference in there. Uh, we're here to talk about today something else. But I mean, like I said, what is love? It's a word that can't easily be explained. Biology says that we release certain chemicals that cause our body to react in a certain way when in love. Psychology says that it's a bond that we have and develop for survival. Honestly, I could do a whole episode on the subject of love and
hmm
how it affects us and why we need it.
Yep.
But that isn't what our subject is on today.
No.
If you want us to have a subject on that or to cover that in a later episode, we can just shoot us a message and let us know. You can reach Kelsey on the social medias or reach
Yeah.
out through us through the email, which we'll give at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
But today we're actually going to be talking about a archetype, a god slash goddess archetype, and that is the god or goddess of love.
Yes.
This is one of like the biggest archetypes in uh, most theologies, like it's one of the top ones where you constantly say over and over again, along with the trickster and the mother goddess and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And sometimes it actually crosses over into the mother goddess, like the two are one and the same in certain situations. But uh,
Yes.
it's most commonly seen as a goddess because women are, I guess, more loving than men.
It's the nurturing.
I think it is partially the nurturing. Uh, and, there are a few gods out there that embody that. For a
Yes.
simple definition of a love deity, it is a being in a cultural mythos that is associated with romance, sex, lust, or sexuality.
Okay.
Goddesses are often viewed as like the symbol of beauty and in many traditional views of feminine attributes, while gods are most commonly association with the manifestation of masculine powers and like what makes a man attractive and what attracts someone to a man. Uh,
Yeah.
and I think like thanks to the joys of things like colonialism and the destruction of cultures and cultural identity, we on a number but majoritarily by a individuals of a certain religious belief system, we've lost a lot of information on these individuals from ancient times. But we are going to go over some of the stuff that we do know.
Yes.
So, and like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be um, romantic love. It can be love for self. So, for instance, if you're doing any sort of spell work involving love, and this is a perfect time to do stuff like that, you can do spell work for self love,
Yeah.
which I think is extremely important. And because it's hard to love ourselves.
Oh yeah.
We're around ourselves all the time, and even if like you're someone who comes across as loving yourself or appreciating yourself or whatever, it's not easy. You're constantly with yourself. You're constantly see yourself, see all your flaws, see what you could have done better. And you know what? It's okay to have those flaws. It's okay to deal with that, and you can ask or seek help with that for gods or goddesses of saying, "Hey, this is what I need.
Yeah.
I need to know that I am loved. I need to love myself. I need to look and see just how beautiful I am as a person." And I'm not saying this to be all touchy feely. I'm not saying this or like the whole, oh, love and light, blah, blah, blah. Because, I mean, anyone who's listened to us for any length of time, and anyone who knows me knows that I am very much not that type of witch.
No.
But
You were not.
it is an important thing to consider sometimes of, hey, this is what is needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that being said, if you're doing practices for where you're, leaving tributes and stuff to one of these gods or goddesses, what do you think you should leave them, Kelsey?
Ooh. Hmm. I I would say anything associated with like rose. So either roses, rose water, rose oil, maybe a pomegranate. I think that's the wrong person though.
That's more like Persephone.
Yeah. Um hmm. Yeah. My mind goes to roses, flowers.
Yeah, so flowers, chocolates, certain types of fruits that can be seen as romantic, certain gemstones such as uh, rose quartz would be perfect.
Yeah.
Perfume. Interestingly enough, if you think about it, cosmetics
Yeah.
as getting dolled up, mirrors, wine. But then again, wine is great for pretty much any.
Yeah, it's like
Uh,
any form of alcohol.
um,
Like, yeah.
you could do herbs such as vanilla, ginger, cinnamon, Ylang Ylang. I never know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's okay.
My husband can say that.
Ylang
That is
Ylang.
actually gang. I always say it how you say it, and then he corrects me every time. Um, that would actually be more for our next episode than
Yes, yes. Yeah, well, it still
this.
kind of
Yeah,
partially ties into that.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, so stuff like that, that, are involved with love or that you could see giving to a lover or that you would like to receive from a lover is uh, very much things to associate with those types of gods and goddesses. So I think the most common. Well, I'll do a trial here. Kelsey,
ha,
when you think love deities or goddess or god of love, who is the first one that pops into your head?
Aphrodite.
You were gonna say that.
Instantly, I went to Dionysus, but that was the wrong person because you
Well,
just said wine. Wine was
well
stuck in
that
my head.
Dionysus actually does come up with that, but the most commonly associated, I think, here in the Western world at least, is Aphrodite. She's an ancient Greek goddess associated with love, lust, beauty, pleasure, passion, uh, procreation, and as her uh, Roman counterpart, Venus, desire, sex, fertility, prosperity, and victory. Because, if you succeed in love, I think you have victory in life.
Yeah,
Her major symbols are seashells, myrtles, which I think isn't that a plant? I think it's like a tree. Roses, doves, the sparrow, and the swan. The cult of Aphrodite was actually largely derived from a. How do you pronounce this word?
it's a plant.
Phoenician? Myrtle is a plant? Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
it first thing that pops up is Myrtle Beach, but
oh,
it's
yeah, that does make sense. I didn't even associate Myrtle Beach with that.
so yeah. Continue.
Yeah, so the cult of the Aphrodite was largely derived from that of the Phoenician goddess Astarte, uh, and uh, a cognate of the Eastern Semitic god Ishtar, whose cult was based in Samaria. Cult was based on the Sumerian goddess Inanna. So, kind of you see kind of the evolution there, from
Yeah,
one goddess to another as they move from area to area, as the archetype and the force of love. Uh, See, we don't really need to go over any of that. Aphrodite was also worshipped as a warrior goddess
yeah.
because, you know, love is a battlefield, heartache to heartache. We stay. uh,
Thank you.
sorry, I had to.
Thank you for that.
Uh, so, an interesting fact with her, and then with a number of other goddesses, um, and as I've said before, we are supporters of sex workers here and people,
Yeah,
being safe but doing what they enjoy and
yeah. That's what you want to do.
uh,
Go for it.
doing what you're good at.
Do what you gotta do. Do whatever you want to do. I'm not judging if that's what
but
you
there
want
was
to do.
but there was actually a whole order and a concept of sacred prostitution in the Greco-Roman culture,
Mhm.
which typically were women who joined and would sell themselves for blessings, physical blessings, and to embody the goddess of Aphrodite, and then those that was given to them would go to the temple as offerings. Uh, One of the other most commonly seen figures for love deities, or I guess the next two really, uh, you have Freya in the Norse and Germanic, and Beset for the Egyptians. So Freya is a goddess associated with love, beauty, fertility, sex, war, gold, and Sidor. You know what? It is a not an English character. I don't even know how to pronounce that letter.
It's
Uh,
okay.
but anyways, it's magic for seeing and influencing the future. Freya is the owner of the necklace Brishingamen,
Sure.
rides on a chariot pulled by two giant cats,
Yes.
and is accompanied by the boar Hildisvini and possesses the cloak of falcon feathers. So, fun
Yeah.
fact about Freya, and this was like a big thing with the Norse, is that they would actually take it and give kittens
Yeah.
to the bride on their wedding day, on her
Yes.
wedding day, for protection and for a blessing.
Yeah.
Uh, and then, like, the
Yep.
fun additional thing of that is they actually preferred orange tabby cats over other cats. And the reason for this is believed that one, those are the colors of the cats that pulled her chariot, but
Okay.
two, the red hair gene actually goes back to the Norse, like Norse areas,
Yeah.
so the Scandinavian countries, and they preferred orange tabbies because their hair matched the. Yep.
That makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. So ginger people like ginger cats.
I agree with you. I got what you got.
So those of you who know a little bit about Norse mythology know that Freya is actually uh, not an Aesir like a lot of other gods. She is a Vanir, which is like a different set of gods. Basically, it was like I don't know. The correlation I have seen is like, and it's really weird because I don't know if this is just like how my brain associates it, but the Aesir is like meat eaters, like the hunters and all that, and like they're very much meat driven, while
Okay.
the Vanir are like plant type people and vegetarians. I don't know if that's actually a thing or if that's just how my brain associates with it. I don't know.
It's possible.
Uh,
It's
it's just like
possible.
yeah,
Who knows?
these gods are made out of meat and these gods are made out of plants. But yeah.
Okay. I'm not.
Anyways,
I'm not knocking you. That sounds about right.
she's often sought after. And there's if you read through the Prose Edda, the Norse, the surviving documents with the Norse mythology in it, you a lot of times we'll see her being sought after by random individuals who wish to marry her, and will do things to like try to trick to get her as their bride. There's actually a fun story where uh, Thor's hammer gets stolen. Ooh, I just had a great idea for an episode. Sorry, but where Thor's hammer gets stolen, uh, and the deal is the only way to get it back is for her to marry the giant that stole it, and so Thor actually dresses up in a dress with a veil to disguise who he is, and
It's a good story.
and because yeah, it's a fun one. But anyways, um, yeah, so people are always trying to marry her and have their way with her because she's a pretty lady and represents love to the Norse people. Basset, on the other hand, first appeared in the third millennia before current era, where she is depicted as a fierce lioness or woman with the head of a lioness. 2,000 years later, during the third uh, intermediate period of Egypt, Basset began to be depicted as the domestic cat or a cat-headed woman.
Okay.
So you'll see her a lot of times. It's the lady with the cat head. But
Okay.
um, the interesting part with her is that she really has, in a sense, two faces. One is a loving and caring individual and is the representation of love, and the other one is a fierce beast. Because it kind of goes into the old saying that hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
That is true.
Yeah, like, women can be very loving and affectionate when they want to be, but also, they can rip your heart out and destroy you. But that's
Yeah.
okay because that's how we grow.
Yeah.
So that she's part of the reason she was a major, major symbol in Egyptian culture, and that's part of the reason why they domesticated cats and had cats protected, like as protective symbols, because she was so protective over all the people. And again, they also gave kittens to newlyweds
Mm-hmm.
uh, in Egypt. So other deities, and I just kind of grabbed some at random, and I'm going to butcher these names horribly. Shuanu, which is translates to roughly as the Dark Lady or Mysterious Lady in English, is a Chinese, I believe. Why did I not put the country in this one?
That,
Uh, but she is a goddess that is closely uh, or is the closest regarding to love and romance.
okay.
Raja Raja, not to be confused with the sound that Schnitzel makes on chowder, which is Rada Rada. Uh, I know I'm not pronouncing this right. Is a deity venerated in the esoterica and Vajrayana Buddhist tradition.
Okay.
He is especially revered in Chinese esoteric Buddhists, in Chinese communities, as well as Shingon and Tendai in Japan.
Okay.
Uh, he is known to transform worldly lust into spiritual awakening. When scripture relating to him reached China during the Tang Dynasty, the Sanskrit name was translated as Arana Migawa, which means love stained wisdom king. So that's a guy.
Yeah.
You also have Tuashin, which is a. So I thought this was cool. So Tuashin is a Chinese deity who
Okay.
manages love between men. Like, he is a deity for gay men.
Okay.
They
That's
they literally they literally have a deity just for gay men, which I thought was cool as hell. But his name literally translates to rabbit deity, and if you look up pictures of him, it's literally statues of a rabbit. So, guys,
fantastic.
guess what? You heard it here first. Rabbits are kind of gay.
Yes.
And then, like I said earlier, you have Dionysus, who is the white wine drinking, uh, orchard of fruit, vegetation, fertility, festivity, and sanity, ritual madness, religious ecstasy, and theater. He is also known as Bacchus by the Greek. Well, Bacchus is Roman. This is wrong. He's known by Bacchus, but he's okay. Anyways, so the Romans call him Bacchus, based, and he had fun cults that were full of women that would do weird, crazy, insane things that we won't go into right now because boy howdy were they interesting. And that might be something to cover next week. I don't know. Our next episode, I don't know. Um yeah, no. Okay. And there are tons of other love deities out there. Like I said, I couldn't cover them all. I just took some of the more popular ones and grabbed a random selection at the end. Highly recommend looking into them more. Incorporate them into your practices if you have practices. Incorporate like learning more about them and growing who you are as an individual through love and all that
Right.
jazz. I believe it is time for our
Cards.
tarot drawings. I swear,
I'll go
if one of us
first.
pulls the lover, I will
No,
die laughing.
no, I did not. I pulled the Ace of Swords.
I pulled uh the star.
I was like, I'll go through mine while you find yours.
Yeah, thanks.
So keywords: breakthrough, clarity, sharp mind. When the Ace of Sword appears in a reading, it indicates a sharp mental clarity. The sword is the suit of the intellect, and with its blade, it can cut into the root of any problem. The sword's purpose is to seek truth. It demands truth. Powerful and swift, it grants fearsome power to its wielder, which may be either used for noble deeds or to deal destruction. To see it in a reading can indicate some kind of breakthrough, a new perspective, or a way of thinking that is sure to lead to good ends. If you stick with principles, the sword will serve you well. Lesson: clarity and truth guide my decisions. There you go.
Okay, so the star. Uh, yeah, I've never actually pulled this card before. So
Okay.
it keywords signifies hope, faith, purpose, renewal, and spirituality.
Okay.
As the star follows the Tower card in tarot, it comes as a welcome reprieve after a period of destruction and turmoil. You may endure many challenges and strip yourself bare of any limiting beliefs that have previously held you back. You are realizing your core essence, who you are beneath all the layers, no matter. Quit. I hate when my computer like randomly jumps when I'm reading stuff. Where's that here? Do, 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 do. Always connected with the divine, pure loving energy. You hold a new sense of self and you appreciation for the core of your being. The star brings renewal of hope and faith and a sense that you are truly blessed by the universe. You are entering a peaceful, loving phase in your life, filled with calm energy, mental stability, and more in depth understanding of both yourself and others around you. This is a time of significant personal growth and development as you are now ready to receive the many blessings of the universe.
Okay.
So, what you think that means?
Very time again. You're you're on the right path.
Yeah,
Like
I would say it's
everything you've been doing, you're kind of where you need to be.
and things that you've been working towards are paying off. It's promising that you're doing the right thing. You've got the right stuff going for you, and you're following your heart to find true joy, and that's what you need to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So keep on keeping on, and keep on sharing that love with those around you,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I think is a fitting thing for this episode and around this time of year.
Yeah. 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 That is very fitting. So
So I
yeah.
think that wraps us up for this episode. We do have our review episode after this, coming out the
Yep.
week after this comes out, and then week after that, I'm going to give a strong content warning.
Yes.
Of course, we consider ourselves an explicit podcast, anyways, just because
Yeah.
we talk from the heart and get into some deep topics sometimes, and have some certain language that we use. But that episode, I recommend that unless you are at least the age of consent in your area, uh, and in whatever culture that you are living in. Uh, if you're not, I highly recommend you not listen. There's going to be a lot of really mature topics we're going to be talking about. Uh, and parents, of course, it is up to your discretion whether you listen to this around your children if they are under that age. Just
Yes.
know that we are going to be talking about uh, several different things
Yes.
from a physical standpoint with yourself, with other people, with another person, uh, all sorts of things that you might not want to answer questions for right now for your kid. And you know what? You might want to. Uh, as I said in one of our previous episodes, I'm going to have to probably have Kelsey step away if I get a little too involved with my personal things, because that's not something we talk about, and it's going to be a really interesting
Yeah.
episode to try and do.
Well,
So
it's like if I step away, I still have to hear about it later because I'm the one that edits this.
we'll just take like a timestamp, and then you know you can like take a timestamp and be like, okay, I'm assuming all this is going to be good, and then just go with faith. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. There are certain rules that I just have with people, and what happens behind a door has always been to me that stays between you and that person. I've always felt that way. I've always been this way. It's to me, it's a private thing that you do with that person, and I don't feel like you should share that with the world. So
Hey, some people are
that's
into that.
if that's what you're into, good for you. That's not what I'm into. Um,
I'm just messing with you.
I know you are. That's just how I am. I just feel like it's a private thing. In a world full of hookup culture and stuff, no. And it's not a numbers thing. That is a very private thing that you do with someone, and I don't think it
So yeah, I'm
needs
not going to go into the bullshit of the whole numbers thing because that is
like, it's not even
that
part
is
of that.
purity culture bullshit. But we're not
Yeah.
going to get into that this episode. We are
No.
going to take it and tell you to like, rate, and review
View.
and subscribe on all the
Yeah.
platforms that you listen to us on.
Yes. Please,
And we're
please,
going to tell
please.
you to follow us on social media.
Yeah.
We're going to tell you that if you have any recommendations for topics, to let us know, or if there's anything you want to hear about, let us know. If you have any books you think we should read, let
Yeah.
us know. That's what we're going to tell you. So, Kelsey,
Yeah.
do you want to tell them
Yeah. Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Please rate, review, subscribe. Please tell a friend. Pretty, 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 please. You can join me on Facebook and Instagram. And you can email books that you think either one of us would like based off of our reviews if you listen to our review episodes at the waywarddragons@gmail.com. My brain just immediately just went blank right now. Yeah. I zoned out for a minute. At the worst possible time. So yeah. Yeah. So that does it for this episode. So until next time.
I'm the love doctor.
I'm Kelsey. Bye.
Bye.